everyone, today I'm going to show you guys how I like to pre-color and condition my wafer paper so that it's ready for whenever I want to make wafer paper flowers. I like to do this a day or two ahead of time before I know I'm going to make any type of flower. As you guys can see right here, my wafer paper is very pliable, and this is also a time-saving technique, cutting down the time that you have to color your wafer paper petals. So here I have some airbrush colors, some edible airbrush colors. I have some vodka and I have some food grade glycerin. I'm going to mix all of these things together. You could use any color that you need. Here I'm making kind of a burgundy color, and I'm mixing all of these things together, making sure that the glycerin is well incorporated into the mixture. I'm going to add this into my airbrush gun, and I will spray my wafer paper. I will also place the name of the wafer paper that I like to use, or the brand that I like to use. I buy it on Amazon and it's very affordable. So here I'm going to add my mixture in. So by adding that glycerin into this mixture, this is what's conditioning the wafer paper so it's nice and pliable. If you only use vodka, which you can only use vodka, but it will make your wafer paper, once that dries, it will become more fragile. From my experience and my climate, it becomes more fragile and it breaks easily. The glycerin is what makes the wafer paper pliable. Now here, I'm using a piece of parchment paper and I'm turning over my wafer paper and coloring the rest of it. You could do as many layers as you want, but just make sure that you don't oversaturate the wafer paper, or it will start ripping apart or getting sticky. Now with another piece of parchment paper, I'm smoothing out my wafer paper as much as I can, and I'm letting it dry. Here I'm going to show you, if you don't own a airbrush gun, how you could easily do this with a brush. Using the biggest brush that you have available to you, you could color your wafer paper doing the same thing. And you could, if you want your color to be more deep or more intense, you could let it dry and then add another layer of color. Now, once I was done saturating or coloring my wafer paper, I added another piece of parchment paper on top, and I'm going to let this fully dry for at least 30 to 40 minutes to make sure that my wafer paper is completely dry. After this, I could store it, or I could use it right away as well. Here are the two examples. This is the one that I colored with the airbrush gun, and this one is the one that I did with the brush. Both are very pliable and ready to use. Now, I've been able to store this pre-color wafer paper for a long time. I've been able to store it for at least 3 months, and when I take it out, it's still nice and pliable. Not as pliable as when I first made it, but that can be fixed by adding more glycerin while you're making your petals. Now, to store it, I like to put it in between the same parchment paper that I use, and I like to put it in a Ziploc bag and double layer it with the Ziploc bag and store it. So I hope this tutorial will be useful to you guys. Don't forget to check out the rest of my wafer paper flower tutorials, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to give me a like as well if this is useful to you.